Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य शीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। शीला प्रभुपाद की जय। असेंबल डिवोटीज की जय। Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to once again thank everyone. I would like to also read Srila 10 offenses to the holy name. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the name of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal or to be independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the order of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activity Karma Kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not to have a complete faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining. May I know who all joined this morning?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devi Dasi. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Karuna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Very grateful to your services, Mataji. Hare Krishna, and wishing everyone happy Ekadasi who are celebrating it today.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashmati Priya Devidasi from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashmati Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day, giving your association. Welcome to the call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Accept my humble obeisances. I'm Kishori Dasi from Philadelphia.
Hare Krishna Kishori Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining and chanting so nicely. Welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, myself Krishna Gupta. I'm joining from London, UK. Happy Ekadasi to all Vaishnavas. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Gupta Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining from London. Is it for the first time you're joining, Mataji?
Yeah, it's my first time.
Hari Bol, welcome to the call, Mataji. Thank you so much for joining us. How did you came to know about our call, Mataji?
Actually, this link shared over the WhatsApp, so I get from there.
Oh, you are there in the WhatsApp group. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please
Hare
go.
Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Shamaguri Devi Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna Shamagauri Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. This is Sundarangi Radha Devi Dasi from Canada.
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Welcome to the call.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, हम इंडिया कानपुर से कानपुर से हैं।
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for joining, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
हमें ना ये लिंक रितु माता जी ने सेंड करी थी, तो आज हमने ज्वाइन कर ली।
Okay,
किशोरी
आपको
दासी।
इंग्लिश समझ में आता है माताजी? Because this classes goes in English.
नहीं माता जी, हमको इंग्लिश ना समझ में आता ना बोलना आता है।
Okay, I'm so sorry, माताजी. ये classes English में होता है, so.
ओके, कोई नहीं माता जी, कोई नहीं। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, and all the glories to the assembled devotees. This is Manjri Leela Devi Dasi from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Manjari Leela Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving a recitation every day. Welcome to the call, Mataji. I did not hear your mother today.
She did introduce, I think, the second person.
Oh, she introduced. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Maybe I somehow, yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Kandarika Mataji, and pranam to you and all the devotees, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Assembled devotee. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving a recitation. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji and all devotees. I'm Sudhakar joining from Saudi Arabia.
Hare Krishna, Sudhakar Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji, for joining every day and also being on the video, listening class very attentively, Prabhuji. Very inspiring to all of us, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Akincana Krishna Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 14th chapter, 10th verse. We can wait for Prabhuji to join.
Hari Bol.
Oh, Prabhuji is there? Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for joining and giving your recitation. We are very fortunate to have you on this auspicious day of Ekadasi. I know you are celebrating it today. We celebrated it yesterday. We are still continuing. We did not break up a fast, though. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So shall we start?
Yes, Prabhuji, over to you.
Okay. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, text number 14, chapter number 14, text number 10. Okay. Trivargam nati krichrena bhajeta grahamedhyapi yatha desham yatha kalam yavad devopaaditam. Trivargam nati krichrena bhajet grahamedhyapi yatha desham yatha kalam yavad devopaaditam. Trivargam nati krichrena bhajet grahamedhyapi yatha desham yatha kalam yavad devopaaditam. Trivargam, three principles, namely religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification. No? It's all right. Never mind. Okay. No, not atikrichrena, by very severe endeavor. severe endeavor. Bhajeta should execute. Grahamedhi, a person interested only in family life. Api, although. Yatha desham, according to the place. Yatha kalam, according to the time. Yavat, as much as. Daiva, by the grace of the Lord. Upapaditam, obtained. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Even if one is a householder rather than a brahmachari, a sannyasi or a vanaprastha, one should not endeavor very hard for religiosity, economic development, or satisfaction of the senses. Even a householder, even in household life, one should be satisfied to maintain body, soul together with whatever is available with minimum endeavor according to place and time. By the grace of the Lord, one should not engage oneself in ugra karma. Purport. Excuse me, I'll have to make it into landscape mode. This screen is too small. Yes. In human life, there are four principles to be fulfilled: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Economic development, religion, sense gratification, and liberation. First, one should be religious, observing various rules and regulations. And then one must earn some money for maintenance of his family and the satisfaction of his senses. The most important ceremony for sense gratification is marriage, because sexual intercourse is one of the principal necessities of the material body. Yan maithuna digrahame disukham hitucham. Although sexual intercourse is not very exalted requisite in life, both animals and men require some sense gratification because of material propensities. One should be satisfied with material life, married life, and not expend energy for extra sense gratification or sex life. As for economic development, the responsibility for this should be entrusted mainly to the Vaishyas and Grihasthas. Human society should be divided into Varnas and Ashramas: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. Economic development is necessary for Grihasthas. Brahman Grihastha should be satisfied with a life of Adhyayan, Adhyapan, Yajan, and Yajan, being learned scholars, teaching others to be scholars, learning how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, and also teaching others how to worship Lord Vishnu or even the demigods. A Brahman should do this without remuneration, but he is allowed to accept charity from a person whom he teaches how to be a human being. As for the Kshatriyas, they are supposed to be the kings of the land, and the land should be distributed to the Vaishyas for agricultural activities, cow protection, and trade. Shudras must work. Sometimes they should engage in occupational duties as cloth manufacturers, weavers, blacksmiths, goldsmiths, brassmiths, and so on, or else they should engage in hard labor to produce food grains. There are different occupational duties by which men should earn their livelihood, and in this way, human society should be simple. At the present moment, however, everyone is engaged in technological advancement, which is described in Bhagavad Gita as Ugra Karma, extremely severe endeavor. This Ugra Karma is the cause of agitation within the human mind. Men are engaging in many sinful activities and becoming degraded by opening slaughterhouses, breweries, and cigarette factories, as well as nightclubs and other establishments for sense enjoyment. In this way, they are spoiling their lives. In all of these activities, of course, householders are involved, and therefore it is advised here with the use of the word api that even though one is a householder, one should not engage himself in severe hardships. One's means of livelihood should be extremely simple. As for those who are not grahasthas, brahmacharis, vanaprasthas, and sannyasis, they don't have to do anything but strive for advancement in spiritual life. This means that 3/4 of the entire population should stop sense gratification and simply be engaged in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. Only 1/4 of the population should be grahasthas, and that should be according to the laws of restricted sense gratification. The grahasthas, vanaprasthas, brahmacharis, and sannyasis should endeavor together with their total energy to become Krishna conscious. This type of civilization is called as Daiva Varnashram. One of the objectives of the Krishna consciousness movement is to establish this Daiva Varnashram, but not to encourage so-called Varnashram without where is it gone? Without scientific articles and different last line.
It's right here, Prabhu. Are you able to see?
Called
But not
Daiva
to
Varnashram. One of the objectives of Krishna consciousness movement is to establish this Daiva Varnashram, but not to encourage so-called Varnashram without scientifically organized endeavor by human society. Hare Krishna. Yes. So this is the chapter which is entitled Ideal Family Life. So this is the chapter which begins with Yudhishthir Maharaj's question to Narad Muni: how can a grahastha or a man in household life who has forgotten the goal of his life attain perfection, attain mukti, and attain bhakti? And Narada will begin to speak on what is an ideal family life. So, in the previous two chapters, we saw the duties of vanaprasthas and brahmacharis and sannyasis. And now, this chapter is the duties of a family man. Now, it is noteworthy that Narada is not a householder. He has been a brahmachari throughout. But still, Yudhishthir Maharaj, who is a grahastha and a king, is inquiring from Paramhamsa Brahmachari Narada. So some people say that brahmacharis should not counsel, or if the doubt arises that a brahmachari or a sannyasi may not counsel a grahastha, here we can see that Narada, even though he has no experience on grahastha life, is going to speak on what is an ideal family life. So how is it that a person who has no experience of a family life can give advice on family life? So some people, they say they cannot. You know the story of Shankaracharya when he was having a debate with one scholar, Mandan Mishra. And Mandan Mishra's wife was mediating. She was a judge. She herself was a great scholar. And the losing party will become the disciple of the winning party. So Shankaracharya, he defeated Mandan Mishra. Mandan Mishra became the disciple of Shankaracharya. It is said in the biography. But then the wife raised an objection, even though she accepted that Shankaracharya won the argument. But then there was one contention. She said that because Shankaracharya was a sannyasi and has no experience of family life, he cannot be an absolute authority on household duty. And then it is said that Shankaracharya, he took that challenge and he says, all right, nothing is impossible for me. I am a yogi. I can manage that. And he, by his yoga sadhana, he gave up his body and kept it under the protection of his disciples. And through yogic trance, he transmigrated into the body of a king who had just died. And he lived as a king, he lived a household life and saw what are the duties and what are the responsibilities of household life. And then after some time, he left that body and that king again passed away. And then he re-entered his own body. And then he said, see, now I am in a position to, to speak on household life. But we can see that no such thing has been done by Narada and still he is an authority. Reason being that it is not always necessary to experience to learn. Prabhupada used to say, there are three ways of learning or two ways of learning. One is when you hear someone who has experienced or someone who tells you, one who knows, who tells you, and you learn it and you accept it. So that is learning through hearing. Another is when you experience it yourself. So Prabhupada said the intelligent person is one who learns through hearing. He doesn't have to experience. So people like Narada and sannyasis and those who have never gone through married life, they hear or they observe householders and they see the trials and tribulations they go through and they understand. And because they are well read in scriptures and because they have knowledge of Shastra and they have realization, they understand all other things. When a person is spiritually advanced, he can understand everything. Krishna says, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. One who knows Krishna, he knows everything. He becomes a great scholar. It's like a 2000 rupees note. It has 50 rupees also, it has 100 rupees also, it has 500 rupees, it has everything. So just like that, a person who is having the knowledge of Shastra, a person who is realized the Lord, he is capable of advising on all affairs. Yes, so therefore, here we can see that Narada, even though he is a renounced person, he is a perfect person to speak. Because in a way, we can say that a brahmachari or a sannyasi is actually the most qualified person to give advice and counseling. In as much as a person who's outside of a well can only help someone who's stuck in the well. If two people are stuck in the well, fallen into a well, can they help each other? It's very difficult. But someone who's outside the well, he can throw a rope, put down a stick and pull someone out of the well. So similarly, a person who is detached from that situation can actually see the solution for the problems in that situation. And therefore we see great kings, even though they are householders like Yudhishthir Maharaj, even though we know that Yudhishthir Maharaj himself is a liberated soul, he's a devotee of Lord Sri Krishna, But still, he's so humble enough. He's so humble that he considers himself unqualified, and he is inquiring from Narada as to how can I be liberated from my material situation, even though there is no need for him to ask, because Lord Sri Krishna has been his family member, very intimately related. But still, you can see here is an example of an ideal family man, that is very humble. He does not hesitate to ask for spiritual advice. He does not hesitate to fall at the feet of spiritual people, sadhus, sannyasis, brahmacharis, and ask them, inquire from them about the higher principles of life, about the principles of Krishna consciousness. So here, let us quickly read on from the first verse of this chapter. Maharaj Yudhishthir inquired from Narad Muni, "O my lord, O great sage, kindly explain how we, who are staying at home without knowledge of the soul of life, goal of life, may also easily attain liberation according to the instructions of the Vedas." So this is Yudhishthir Maharaj. He's so humble that he's considering himself as a griha medhi, as an attached householder. So then Narad Muni replies, "My dear king, those who stay at home as householders must act to earn their livelihood." So that means householders should work to earn livelihood. And instead of trying to enjoy the results of their work themselves, they should offer these results to Krishna. How to satisfy Vasudev in this life can be perfectly understood through the association of great devotees of the Lord, like Narada. So a grahastha must work, but he should not simply use all that he earns for his own self and his family, but he should use it for Krishna. He should use it for preaching. Here we can see like that. That's the first instruction he gives. Then he says a grahastha must associate again and again with saintly persons. Not just once and that's over. No. Grahastha must associate again and again with saintly persons, and with great respect he must hear the nectar of the activities of the Supreme Lord and his incarnations as those activities are described in Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas. Thus one should gradually become detached from affection for his wife and children, exactly like a man awakening from a dream. So as I said that, people in general respect the renounced order. I was saying that why a brahmachari or a sannyasi are capable of counseling is because people take their words seriously, because they have given it up. They've given up association of worldly people, of wealth and wife and so on. So people take them seriously. They respect them. It has been observed that even when grahasthas speak, other grahasthas may not take them seriously because they may think that, so what, he's also grahastha, I am also grahastha, what's so great in it? So they may not take them seriously. But when a sannyasi speaks, oh, okay. Someone who is a vairagi, tapasvi, when they speak, they take it seriously because they're actually living and demonstrating a detached life. And that's one of the reasons why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, is it not? Even though he was the Lord himself, but people were not respecting him. When he would go into ecstasy, it is said that he would remember Krishna in the mood of the gopis, and he would chastise Krishna. And he would sometimes chant Gopi, Gopi, and the other Brahmins would tell that, why are you chanting Gopi, Gopi? Chant Krishna, Krishna. And he would say, whoa, who's Krishna? And he would get angry, and those people would think that, what is he? And then he would run behind the Brahmin boys to beat them up, and they would not understand that mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that how exalted he was, and they would go and they would gossip and criticize him, saying that why is he coming to beat us? If he does that next time, we will retaliate. And they would say like that, and Mahaprabhu could understand that if they continue criticizing Mahaprabhu in that way, then they will not be able to attain liberation. So then Mahaprabhu mercifully, he gave up his family life and took sannyas, because everyone, including Brahmins, will fall down at the feet of sannyasis. You see. So a householder or grihasthas do appreciate brahmacharis and sannyasis. They take their words seriously, and therefore it is said here, a grihastha must associate again and again with saintly persons, and with great respect he must hear the nectar of the activities of the Supreme Lord and his incarnations, as these activities are described in Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas. And by doing this, what happens? Thus one should gradually become detached from affection for his wife and children, exactly like a man awakening from a dream. I mean, if we really want liberation, if we really want to experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness, we must develop detachment from these things. That is the goal. I remember once in Nerul, one lady came to me and said, Prabhu, I am always so afraid. I said, why are you afraid? She says, I'm afraid that I may lose my family. बहुत डर लगता है. I'm always paranoid that something will happen, something inauspicious may happen. You see, that is the nature of attachment. That along with attachment comes fear. So if you want to become free from all kinds of fear, then one has to become detached, knowing that Krishna is the protector, and everyone will experience the results of their karmas. And everything one day will be destroyed. So our attachments to anything in this world will only bring about sorrow and misery. Yes. And there is this example of Sridhar Swami, our Acharya, that how when his wife was giving birth to a child, she passed away. And even at that time, with his newborn baby lying on the cradle, he was thinking about Lord Krishna and how he can dedicate his life full time to the service of the Lord. And at that time, when he was contemplating, a baby lizard falls from the ceiling and it opens its mouth, and a fly enters into its mouth and he eats it. So Sridhar Swami saw that, and he was thinking that or that baby lizard does not even know where to look for food, but it opened its mouth and a fly entered and it ate it. This clearly is the proof that the Lord is actually taking care of each and every living being in this world. He is the protector, He is the maintainer. And with that realization that the Lord will take care of my child, he left his child on the cradle and he left his home and went and took vanaprastha and took sannyas. And his child lying on the cradle is weeping and wailing. And just by the Lord's arrangement, a couple was passing by and hearing the wailing of a child, enters and finds that there's nobody. They were childless and they adopt the child, and they raise the child with great love and affection. So we see that, what from a worldly point of view may seem irresponsible, may seem like heartless. How can a man be so heartless towards his own child? But our acharyas are lauding such kind of detachment. Why? Because this detachment is born out of ultimate faith that the Lord is a protector. And he left not because of laziness or negligence, but he left due to surrender to the service of the Lord, the calling of the Lord. And it cannot be imitated for sure. And the general instruction for everyone is to take care of their, to work and maintain your family. But one should be cultivating detachment from affection for his wife and children, exactly like a man awakening from a dream. Because ultimately, this is a dream. Why is it a dream? Why is a dream known as illusion? Because when we wake up, it's over. As long as we are dreaming, it is a reality for us. But when we wake up, it's over. So therefore, it's a dream. It's illusion. So similarly, why is the material situation called as a dream? Because when death occurs, everything is finished. And therefore, that's also a dream. What comes to an end is illusion. It's asat. And therefore, all material situations of wife and children is also called as a dream. Text number 5. While working to earn his livelihood as much as necessary to maintain body and soul together, one who is actually learned should live in human society unattached to family affairs, although externally appearing very much attached. So a person goes about earning his livelihood and maintaining his body and soul together. So even though he's doing all these things, he's doing it with detachment. But it seems externally that he's attached, but internally he is detached. Just like, coconut. Coconut, when it dries up, that shell gets detached from the flesh inside. Yes? So when you shake it, makes that sound, cut, 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 cut. So a devotee is like that sound. Externally, he seems like he's attached, but internally he's detached. But a materialistic person, externally he shows that he's attached or detached, but internally he's attached. Is it not? Like a, like a stork. There's a bird with long legs and a protruding beak. It stands in the pond and it stands on one leg like a yogi. And he's seeing all the fish come and go, come and go. But he does not eat the fish. Why doesn't he eat the fish? Because he's waiting for the big fish. So when the big fish comes, then he catches it and he eats it. So he's like a yogi. Externally, the bird looks like he's doing yoga. But what is he doing? Internally, he's meditating on the fish. Oh, the big fish will come, then I will enjoy. But he's seeing the small fish and he's neglecting it. So the materialistic people are something like that. That is, externally they look like yogis and detached, but internally they are attached. But a devotee, he externally seems he's attached, but internally he is detached. That means a devotee will not make a show of his renunciation and his devotion. But a materialistic person, he makes a show of renunciation, but internally he is attached. An intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. If there are suggestions from his friends, children, parents, brothers, or anyone else, he should externally agree, saying, yes, that is all right. But internally, he should be determined not to create a cumbersome life in which the purpose of life will not be fulfilled. So you see, there's so much of pressure from society, wife, children, that ye karo, wo karo. Wife will say, just see, since 10 years we are only having Maruti car. See, our neighbors have purchased a Honda. Oh, and then we may be tempted to okay, get a better job, go for better, higher prospects. Let me earn more money. I also will purchase a Honda or maybe even Mercedes. And then we make plans and then work hard like an ass. But what should a devotee do? He should say yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's all right. That's all right. But internally, he should be determined not to create a cumbersome life in which the purpose of life will not be fulfilled. Everyone will go on putting some ambitions into our head. And once the desire enters into your heart, you're finished. Then you have to keep working hard. And therefore, we should not care about what people say. Our Guru used to say, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj used to say, that once a man along with his son went to sell their donkey. So they had to cross certain villages. So when they came to one village, the villagers were looking and saying, look at these foolish people. They have a donkey and they are walking. Why can't they sit on the donkey and go? So the man thought, oh my God, what will happen to my reputation? People are criticizing me. Okay. So both of them sat on the donkey. When they went to the second village, people started criticizing. Just look at this. Cruel people, both of them sitting on the donkey. So much of load. How cruel these people are. So the father became upset, thinking that what are people saying? Oh. So he got down and made his son sit on the donkey. When they reached the third village, again villagers started criticizing. Oh, look at this. He has given no sanskars to his son. Son is sitting and enjoying on the donkey, and the father is making the father walk like this. Father again became upset. Oh no. And he made the son walk. He sat on the donkey. Again, fourth village, people are saying, what is this? Father is so cruel, making the son walk. Finally, he ended up carrying the donkey on his head. In the attempt of trying to satisfy the people. So therefore, what should you do? Say yes, yes, yes. That is all right. But then you should do what is necessary for keeping your body and soul together. There is no need to become unnecessarily over ambitious. Therefore, it is said, Trishu chaiva na santoshas trishu kartavyah swadare bhojane dhane trishu chaiva na kartavya swadhyaya japadanayo. There's that moral instructions that is very popular. Santoshas trishu kartavyah, that you should be satisfied. Santosh rakho, teen cheezon mein, in three things. What is that? Swadare bhojane dhane. Be satisfied with your wife. Be satisfied with whatever food is being offered to you. And dhane, be satisfied with whatever you earn. Whatever you earn with the minimum effort.
That's same. Thing same.
Discharge well.
Sorry?
I think, Prabhu, you can go ahead. That's
Oh.
okay, Prabhu.
So one should be satisfied with one's wife, with one's food, swadare, bhojane, dhane, and with one's income. Because you see, there's no limit. When you earn more, your standard of living goes up. Right? And then when your standard of living goes up, then again you want to earn more. It never ends. Never ends. No matter how much you earn. Person earning 10,000 rupees is thinking, how can I earn 50,000 rupees? Person earning 50,000 rupees is thinking, how can I earn 1 lakh rupees? Person earning 1 lakh rupees is thinking, how can I earn 10 lakhs? Person earning 10 lakhs is also thinking, how can I earn 1 crore? Person earning 1 crore is also not satisfied. He's thinking, how can I become a multimillionaire, or how can I own a company? And it never ends. It never ends. And therefore, satisfaction must be cultivated as a practice, as a sadhana. How long can one go on and on and on? One is having a limited lifespan. One should not unnecessarily waste time. And here it is said, just say yes, yes, that is all right to whatever people say to you about improving your material situation. But one should be determined not to get trapped into a cumbersome life in which one forgets the real goal of life, of Krishna consciousness. Then on the 7th text, it is said, the natural products created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be utilized to maintain the bodies and souls of all living entities. The necessities of life are of three types: those produced from the sky, from the earth, and from the atmosphere, which is obtained suddenly and unexpectedly. Then in the 8th verse, it is said, one may claim proprietorship to as much wealth as required to maintain body and soul together. But one who desires proprietorship over more than what must be, over more than that must be considered a thief, and that he deserves to be punished by the laws of nature. So when a person becomes greedy, then he becomes sinful. And that was, I think, already discussed in the previous chapter. You know that verse, शोक मोह भय क्रोध राग क्लैब श्रमादयः यन्मूलास्युर्नृणाम जय्यात् स्पृहाम कामार pranarthayor buddha. Yes, in the previous chapter, this verse came that shokha moha bhaya krodha raga klaibya shramadayah. That when a person is attached to unnecessary prestige, to money, and to maintaining one's body excessively, then what follows? Shoka, moha, bhaya, krodha. What follows is lamentation, moha, illusion, bhaya, fear, krodha, anger, raga, attachment, klaibhya, poverty. Why poverty? See, because poverty is not something what people think. There's lack of money. No. Poverty is in the mind. And that's why you see a king is also known as a Maharaj, and a sannyasi who has nothing is also known as Maharaj. Then who's the poverty-stricken person? A poverty-stricken person is one who has huge ambitions, but he has very few possessions. Therefore, it is said, reduce your desires and feel like a king, rather than increasing your desires and feeling like a beggar, thinking like a beggar, and being like a beggar. If you're satisfied, you're a king, you're a Maharaj. So, reduce your desires and feel like a king. That is the message. And then one should treat animals such as deer, camels, asses, monkeys, mice, snakes, birds, and flies exactly like one's own son. How little difference there actually is between children and these innocent animals. So, yes, definitely we should maintain them. People have dogs, people keep cats. So, they're all like children. Only difference is we should not keep them at home. Every animal has got its place in the society. Dogs also should be maintained. Here it is explained here. They are just like our children, but they should be kept in their respective positions. Today, people are loving dogs so much. Cats, then they keep at home. We know then we should not end up like Jada Bharat. Jada Bharat was attached to a deer. Recently, we went to a park here, Nara Park, Deer Park. Beautiful deers were there, is it not? So that's nice. I mean, you should feed them and love them. All animals are like children of God. They're all our brothers and sisters, and we should not unnecessarily harm them. Like, there could be mice, there could be cockroaches, and there could be mosquitoes also. So they are also to be considered as one's children. Some people may argue, should we kill mosquitoes or not? Should we kill cockroaches? And there are other insects. And snakes. What about snakes? Sometimes living in villages, you may get snakes, like poisonous snakes. But as far as possible, one should try and avoid killing them. But if sometimes, due to certain situations, in order to protect oneself, one may, like, Prabhupada, I heard one pastime that Prabhupada was sitting along with some of his disciples, and one mosquito was flying. And somebody said, Prabhupada, see, there is a mosquito here. Should I kill it? So Prabhupada said, no, don't kill it. And then that mosquito came and sat on Srila Prabhupada's hand or something and body and started drinking the blood. Prabhupada said, see, now it's attacking me. Now you can kill it. Now you may kill it. I heard this. So yes, sometimes a snake may come and attack you, or a dog may come and try to bite you. At that time, you can, try to protect and defend yourself. But in general, all the animals should be treated as one's own children, and they should be maintained. As a householder, that's one's duty. So here it is said one should treat animals such as deer, camels, asses, monkeys, mice, snakes, birds, and flies exactly like one's own son. And then in this 10th verse, even if one is householder, rather than a brahmachari, a sannyasi, or a vanaprastha, one should not endeavor very hard for religiosity, economic development, or satisfaction of the senses. Even in household life, one should be satisfied to maintain body and soul together with whatever is available with minimum endeavor according to place and time. By the grace of the Lord, one should not engage oneself in ugra karma, hard work. Hard work. People are working so hard. In one country, like last time I was giving an example of Japan, the Japanese government, they have to make schemes to give holidays to the people so that they can go home and relax and have a social life, because they are so workaholics that they don't want to go home. And they have words whereby people, they have words for someone who dies working. They die working, they die at their workplace because they're working so hard, and they come into the trains and they sleep. It is forbidden to speak on your mobile phones on the local trains in Japan. You know why? Because it is an official place to sleep. Government wants people who are traveling in trains to sleep peacefully. So therefore, you cannot speak on your mobile phones. Is that right? They're working so they're working so hard. Obviously, because they have built such a beautiful country. Why? Because they're working hard. But what is the point of it? Ultimately, they miss out on the essence. Yes, you work hard, you keep things clean, which is nice. But then, don't work so hard that once Prabhupada was asked, why is it so hot in India? Why is it so hot in India? So Prabhupada said that's because the Lord didn't want Indians to work so hard. See, you can't work hard when it's hot. When it's cold, you can work hard. So Prabhupada said the Lord didn't want Indians to work hard. They just wanted us to work, say, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 hours in a day, and then spend the evening in hearing Ramayana, Mahabharata, or Bhagavatam. If you're working so much, then how can you get time to read Bhagavatam and associate with devotees and do seva. So, in a lighter note, okay, I know in the Middle East also it gets hot and other things, but then they are not reading. But yeah, they are, many of them are Muslims, and they pray a lot. You see, they pray a lot, so that's good. And in fact, they are having oil. They have oil. They don't need to work. All the Arabs, they are so wealthy, so they should be praying more. But any which ways, yes. So the ideal example is we can see in Srivas Thakur's life. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, associate Srivas Thakur. Lord Chaitanya would daily, for a year, he did kirtan at Srivas Thakur's house. And it was only for his intimate devotees. And they would keep all those caste Brahmins out who would make fun of their kirtan. Because before Mahaprabhu, nobody did loud kirtan. There was no such thing as Harinam Sankirtan. People would not go out with Mridang Kartal and do loud kirtans with wampers. It was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who actually inaugurated this process. So the neighbors would complain, saying that, what is that sound? Why are they chanting so loudly? What is this new practice? And they would be very, very, very angry and jealous, partly jealous because they would not be allowed inside. And they would try to criticize and they would try to blaspheme and dishonor and assassinate the character of devotees. And one, as you heard already, that one Brahmin whose name was Gopal Chapal, he brought some paraphernalia for worshipping Kali and kept it in front of Srivas Thakur's home. And Srivas Thakur, he opened his door the next day morning only to find all that thing kept there, and he was not disturbed. Because naturally, when someone tries to discredit you and assassinate your character, you may feel offended. But then he was not at all offended. He just went around knocking on the doors of the neighbors, saying that, look, all of y'all are saying that I am a devotee of Krishna, but here you can see in front of my house, all the paraphernalia for worshipping Kali has been kept. Now you know what I am. But the neighbors could not believe what Srivas was saying. They understood it was a work of some envious man, and they came with brooms and mops and they cleansed and disposed of all that thing. Here is an example of how one should be and how one should not be. Like that Gopal Chapal, even though he was a Grihastha, he was so envious of other Grihasthas and other devotees, unfortunately. And Srivas Thakur was the example of how one should lead a life of simplicity, humility. And when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing kirtan at his house, his own son died while the kirtan was going on. And Srivas Thakur did not even mention it to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he didn't want to disturb his kirtan. His own son died while Mahaprabhu was inside. Then Mahaprabhu himself realized after some time that the mood of that house is not okay. What's happening? And then when he inquired, he found out that Srivas Thakur's own son has died. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu miraculously brought that son back to life. And that boy spoke words of wisdom and then passed away. And then Mahaprabhu said, even though your son has passed away, but I and Nityanand Prabhu are your sons. Please adopt us as your son. Srivas Thakur was an elderly devotee, an associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he said, please adopt me. And that is a Grihastha. You see, very advanced, so detached from his own son. I remember when I was doing one program in one place, and one child wandered out of the satsang without the knowledge of the parents. And all of a sudden, somebody started screaming, "Oh, mera bachcha kho gaya, mera bachcha kho gaya!" Oh, and then we had to, We have to stop the satsang naturally, because the child had wandered off and the parents are worried, where is the child? And maybe he's gone onto the road because the satsang was taking place beside, on the temple premises along the road. And it's quite natural, when parents, when they find that their child is missing, it's quite natural to behave like this. But the program was stalled and everybody went looking for the child. But Srivas Thakur, being on another level, his son died and he did not raise his voice. He didn't say a word to anyone. So therefore, we cannot imitate this. Definitely not. But we can see what is the highest example of detachment. And that's why Srivas Thakur was so dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that it is said that one tailor who used to come to stitch Srivas Thakur's clothes, who was a meat eater. Probably he was even a Muslim, we never know. But it is said that he was a meat eater. He came and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so happy that this tailor is rendering service to Srivas Thakur, his dearmost devotee, that he showed his form of Krishna to that tailor, a meat eater, and gave him love of God. And gave him love of God. Krishna Bhakti. We know of the story of Ambarish Maharaj and Durvas Muni. Ambarish Maharaj was a Grahastha. And he used to use, that very famous verse which comes, Savai Manak Krishna Padar Vindayor Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunan Varnane Karau Harer Mandira Marjanadishu Shrutim Chakarachyuta Satkathodaye. And two more verses are there explaining that how he used his mind in thinking of Krishna. Savai Manak Krishna Padar Vindayor Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunan Varnane. He would use his voice in glorifying Lord Sri Krishna. Karau Harer Mandira Marjanadishu. He would use his hands in cleaning the temple, cleaning the altar, worshipping the Lord. Shrutim Chakarachyuta Satkathodaye. And he would use his ears in hearing Bhagavad Katha, Gita. He had a Krishna conscious perspective of the whole world. He used his sense of touch in embracing the Lord's devotees. He used his tongue in tasting the prasad of the Lord, the tulsi leaves which are offered to the Lord. He used his legs in walking in the holy places of the Lord. He used his eyes to take darshan of the Lord's holy forms and the holy places. And he used his head in bowing down in front of the Lord and his devotees. And what did he do with his desires? He had no personal desires. All he had desires was to serve the Lord and his devotees. Such was the life of Ambarish Maharaj. He was a king actually. He was a king, and being a king means being busy. People say we don't have time, हमको भक्ति करने के लिए time नहीं है. But then you can take the example of Ambarish Maharaj. He was a king, and nobody can be more busier than a king. But he had time to do all these things. And we know that he was keeping a fast for 40 days for the benefit of his praja, for his subjects. And it was time for him to break the fast to get the benefit. But just at that time, he was visited by a guest, Durvas Muni, a yogi. And now he was in a fix. He didn't know whether he should break the fast or not, because if he would break the fast, that means it may be seen as an insult to the guest, because before the guest has eaten, the host cannot eat. But if he does not break the fast, then he will lose all the benefit of his upvas. So he consulted his priests and they said that, okay, you can take Charnamrit. That's okay. Charnamrit is seen as breaking the fast, and at the same time, it is not a disrespect to the guest. Not a major disrespect. And he drank Charnamrit and broke his fast, but Durvas Muni felt offended. Oh, how is it that I, a Brahmin priest, come as a guest in your house and this is how you treat me? You have eaten before, you have offered me anything to eat or drink. And he plucked out a hair from his head and threw it on the floor and created a Rakshasa to kill Ambarish. But because he was such a great devotee of the Lord, Lord Vishnu's chakra immediately appeared and killed that Rakshasa and protected Ambarish. And then went behind Durvas Muni, who was none other than the Amsha of Lord Shiva, great yogi. And Durvas had to run for his life. He went to Brahmaloka, he went to Kailash, he went to Vaikuntha. And he fell at the feet of Narayan and he says, your chakra is behind me, please help me, save me. And Narayan said, you have offended my devotee, sorry, I cannot do anything. Oops, I've overshot the time, is it not? It's already 10. I'm sorry, it is. But anyway, I'll just conclude with this story. And then Narayan said, you have offended my devotee, you have to go back to my devotee and ask for forgiveness. And if he forgives, only you will be forgiven. Otherwise, I am helpless. And then Durvas Muni comes and falls at the feet of Ambarish. And Ambarish, very happily, with a smile on his face, he had still not eaten, actually. It took him 1 year to go around all over this place. And still, Ambarish Maharaj had not eaten, thinking that the guest is there at my home. And he waited for him. Durvas came and fell at his feet. Ambarish prayed for his safety. And Sudarshan Chakra left. And at that time, Durvas Muni understood the magnanimity and the glory of a Vaishnava and the power of a Vaishnava. So there are so many such examples in the Shastras that what has been described here is attainable and has been attained by many devotees in the past. They have been described. So we may also try and walk in the footsteps of such great devotees, householders, to make our lives successful and Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavat Mahapurana ki jai. So
Hare
if
Krishna
anyone has
Prabhuji.
any questions.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for such a beautiful, beautiful class, for talking about detachment and many other things. Prabhuji, thank you so much. I really like about the detachment that we should develop. That's our nature of being, to be detached, so that way we can go back to Krishna happily. So without detachment, it's not possible. And I really like the other point that you were telling, like how the sannyasis, they are detached, but we cannot try to imitate them. We should do our duties, at the same time try to be detached, don't attach to them. We have to be taking care of our children, everything we have to do it, but then we should not be attached for that. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Really very grateful to you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, anybody have any questions, please raise your hand. Hare Krishna, anybody, any questions, any realizations? Okay, if there are no questions or no realizations, we can end the call here. I would like to offer my obeisances to Prabhuji and all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa
Kalpatarupeksha kripa sindhupeyavacha
sindhubhyevacha patitanam
patitanam
pavanebhyo
pavanebhyo
vaishnavebhyo namo
vaishnavebhyo
namaha.
namo namaha.
Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki
Jai
jai, Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai
jai, His
Jai.
Grace Akincana Krishna
Jai.
Prabhuji ki
Jai.
jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Radhe
Krishna.
Radhe.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much,
Hare
Radhe
Prabhuji.
Radhe.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Radhe.
Prabhupada.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Prabhu.
much.